Spirituality is one of those words people tend to shy away from, assuming it either means organised religion or something strange and woolly they don't quite understand. For me, spirituality is about those essential things that make us human. Our capacity for wonder and awe, our ability to give and receive love, our desire to create and put something back into life, whether that's a beautiful painting or your first child. It's all those sorts of essential human things, and as such it's a vital part of our well-being. Our mental and physical health are all part of our spirituality.
And thinking about how it's changed my clinical practice, I suppose what it has done is highlight the fundamental reasons why I entered this profession in the first place, which is to treat people with respect and courtesy, and basically, you know, how one would want one's relatives to be treated if they were in the unfortunate position of having to use our service.
Paula Entwistle is a mother of two who represents a community group called Everyday People, who develop community-based wellbeing resources.
I didn't want to hear from my GP when I saw him, was immediately be told that you need to go on medication. This wasn't the first time I've actually been depressed. There was a time when I was quite a bit younger, and I just recently moved down to Clacton at the time, and I went in and I broke down into tears, and I was not yet again in a good place. And he just looked up to the ceiling, looked at me and says, "You've done this before, haven't you? Here, have some medication." And I didn't want to hear that again, and I did. I heard it again when I went to the other doctor years later. So what I wanted to hear was, I wanted to hear him offer me something, but not medication. I wanted him to listen to what I had to say, show me empathy and understanding. I just didn't want him just disregarding me as another depressive person, and the easy cop-out was to give me medication. I wanted him to show me and give me information of what was available around in the community where I was.
In terms of us thinking as a whole board and how we can make a difference, for us the issues are really that we put service users at the centre of everything that we do, and in doing that we need to make sure that it's part of our vision and values, and that those vision and values are explicit, not only from the board but throughout the whole of the organisation. So everywhere you go in the organisation, you look and you can see that those are the values and principles that we're expecting staff delivering the services to be aware of and to be adhering to.
Paul Tyler is a social inclusion worker for Cornwall Mental Health Partnership Trust.
When I meet people for the first time, one of the first questions I ask is, what do they want? And that can really shock people because they're so used to probably having decisions taken away from them, and it's an opportunity for them to start thinking about how they can change their life, how they can move forward, how their recovery can progress with them taking an active part.
Attention to detail.
Tony Rivett is a carer representative from the Eastern region.
I think a very genuine commitment to the work that they do. And I think when you enter that service, you soon find out those who do have that genuine commitment to care, and those who are just doing a job. And the difference is dramatic for the person being cared for.
The whole life approach sets out a bold vision for the future of how we consider mental distress and the people who experience it. This vision is driven by the questions: what makes a real difference in people's lives, and what helps?
Once again, there is a world full of models and approaches that aim to understand and achieve this. Traditionally, people have looked for the most effective model for mental health practice. With Whole Life, there is no such model, as no model could possibly suit each person's individual needs, experience and journey. And there's a very real risk of focusing on the process or model and not the person. With Whole Life, what is of most importance is the underpinning principles and values that inform practice, rather than the model or approach used.
The whole life approach reflects the group of values that underpins its philosophy.
Recovery, equality, spirituality, user involvement, the arts, social inclusion, well-being, principle-based approaches, self-management, new ways of working, choice, destigmatisation. Listen for the values behind the words and you'll hear the answer to what helps make a difference in our recovery and our whole lives.